A must-do activity for any nature lover visiting Western Australia in the springtime is to take a bus tour to some of the parks in and around Perth to see the wildflowers. One very well-known park overlooking the Swan River is Kings Park. Here can be found examples of flowering plants brought in for replanting from all areas of WA. For tourists on a tight schedule, or for the locals who can't afford the time to travel, the collection of native plants here is easy to get close to, and what is more, they are labelled. The backdrop of a smart young city gives an extra dimension to admiring the Kings Park collection of plants. The day tour starts with a very brief visit to a small area of Kings Park to give participants a taste of what flowers might be seen during the rest of the day. Looking out of the window of the bus as we drive up the steep road to Wireless Hill gives no promise of the treats that are to be found when the bus stops. A cursory glance around reveals nothing spectacular, no sweep of colour, nothing eye-catching at all. Stepping off the bitumen and encouraged to look down rather than out, a smorgasbord of different flowers becomes apparent. Some of the flowers are so small that they're easy to overlook, but once our eyes become trained to observe rather than look, more and more miniature flowers are spotted. A botanist is part of the tour team, and she is very quick at spotting the different plant species. What is particularly remarkable about our botanist is that she gives us the common, easier to remember names for plants, not those tongue-twisting Latin ones. In this particular park, there are many red and green kangaroo paw, the floral emblem of Western Australia. A strikingly handsome and proudly erect plant, this species of Anigosanthus grows taller than most of the other flowers, and in the ideal situation can reach a metre in height. Kangaroo paws are native to the southwest of WA, but have become popular as garden plants. They have been hybridised to suit most weather conditions in the Australian states. Another tall and colourful plant in the Wireless Hill Park is the Cape gladioli. This was introduced to WA gardens several years ago, but escaped to the bush and is now more prolific here than it is in its country of origin, South Africa, where it is now considered to be an endangered plant. One of the jewels in the crown of this particular location is an orchid that grows on the ground. It has buttercup yellow petals, it is small and quite beautiful. Banksia is both the botanical and the common name given to a flowering plant discovered by Sir Joseph Banks way back in 1770. Each Banksia flower is actually a collection of several hundred flowers, packed tightly together. The flowers of the Banksia are a favourite with the honey-eaters, and a little patience is sure to be rewarded with a sighting of one. Another apparently barren of flowers hillside is Gooseberry Hill National Park. Many of the flowers that were sighted on Wireless Hill can be found here too, but the more exposed nature of the landscape and the shaly ground with much less soil cover is suited to several different plant species. The most noticeable of these would have to be the Xanthorrhoea. In Western Australia these are called black boys, and in the eastern states, grass trees. An unusual point about the flowers of the Xanthorrhoea is that when they start to appear along the long spear-like spike, they grow on the northern side first. So, if ever you get lost in the bush and happen to come across one of these plants when it's flowering, you at least will know where north is. Another variety of orchid is found on this stony ground. It only grows to 20 centimetres high and is easily overlooked, but once noticed and identified, it can be picked out quite readily, as it grows out in the open. Western Australia is one of the richest wildflower areas in the world. The largest number of different species of wildflower can be found in the southwest corner of the state. Many Australians take this richness of unique plant life for granted. For some, the bush is dull and as uninteresting as it was to the early settlers. But for those who are willing to stop and explore the wonders that grow close to their feet, there will develop a patriotism that has nothing to do with pride or achievements, but more to do with a love of the land.